I look around and Ike is still over there in the corner smoking Newports. You've seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you know my channel, hey girl, hey. If you're a returning subscriber, I don't have to say anything because you know what's up. I know what's up. We know what's up, and that's on what? That's on what? That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, today's story time is about the road trip from hell. I do want to go ahead and tell y'all to like the video because your girl been on her P's and Q's. I've been doing story times. I think for the last 6 weeks, I haven't missed a Sunday. So go ahead and like the video and comment because y'all see the consistency. Like, I'm proud of myself. I said every Sunday I'm going to post a story time, and I've been doing that. So give me my props, y'all. Give me my props. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. I do want to give another disclaimer before I even get into the story because I'm a little biased, y'all. I do not like road trips. I don't do road trips. I don't like road trips. Anytime I've ever been on a road trip that was more than 2 hours, it was hell. I remember a couple years ago, I was recording a road trip for y'all. Me and my man went from Houston to Arkansas. And I was recording a vlog for y'all because that was my first road trip. Like, we had rented a Tesla. I don't know who idea was it to rent a Tesla, y'all, but we rented a Tesla for this road trip. And that almost wasn't my man. We left with him being my man, came back to the state, ain't like that man no more. I did not like him. So I'm so against road trips. Like, Dallas is 4 hours away by car. I would go to Houston airport and hop on a flight before I ever do a road trip to Dallas again. Like, I'm just not a road trip person. So I do want to go ahead and preface that before we even get into the story. So me and a few friends, we were going to Atlanta to go to a wedding. I'm originally from Florida, and they were driving from Florida to Atlanta, and it's about 5 to 6 hours, give or take. My parents live in Florida, so at the time I was staying in Houston. I was single. This happened back in 2022. I was single, so I was like, all right, I'll just go ahead and drive with y'all. I'll go in the car with y'all because at the time the flights from Houston to Atlanta, I don't know why they was high. I don't know what was going on or who was doing what, but the flights to Atlanta, they were like $400. And typically a round trip flight from Houston to Atlanta is dumb cheap. But y'all, the prices was high. Like, even Spirit was giving bougie. Like, Spirit had like $500 flights, and God forbid, I don't care. Like, I was not paying $500 on a Spirit flight. So I went ahead and flew to Florida, spent a couple of days with my parents, and then after that, I got in the car with them. And plus, the price of a rental between 5 to 6 people, it was less than $100 with gas and a rental. Like I said, from Ocala to Atlanta, it's about 5 to 6 hours. The mutual friend who wedding we were going to, I'm not going to give her a name because, like I said, y'all, we barely made it there. Like, when I say we barely made it there, we barely made it there. Like, when I got to the city, I went to the wedding and I flew back to Houston. I was over it. The friends, we're gonna go ahead and name 2 couples. We're gonna name one Bob. Let's do Bob Marley. Bob and Marley. Bob Marley. Bob is the guy. Marley is the girlfriend. We're gonna do Ike and Turner. We're gonna do Ike and Turner. I'm pretty sure y'all can guess what couple was the corporate. I know y'all can guess what couple was the corporate. So we're gonna do that. And like I said, it was the 5 of us. They picked me up from my parents' house. No, did I say Ike Turner? I meant Tina and Ike, y'all. Let's do Tina and Ike. I don't know what I was thinking. Tina was a driver. She loves driving. She drives to work. So she was like, I'll go ahead and drive. And then Bob was just like, if you get tired, I'll take over. So keep in mind, we left out from my parents' house. It was like maybe, I want to say like 6 a.m. in the morning because we were trying to beat traffic. The wedding wasn't until the following day, but I think there was like a welcome party or something going on that night. I do not recall right now, but I know there was like some type of dinner or there was something going on. Wait, I'm trying to think. Yeah, there was something going on. We didn't leave the same day that the wedding was. We left the day before, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to go back and look at pictures to figure it out, but I think we left the day before. Anyway, y'all, they come pick me up. When we get in the car, actually, let me back up a little bit. Prior to this trip, Bob and Marley had already been on plenty of road trips and vacations with Ike, and they was just like, they are the type of people that make a good day go bad. Like, you could be having a blast and they will turn your trip upside down. They had already told me this like a couple days prior to the trip, and I kind of ignored it. I was just like, really? Every time I see Ike, he's smiling. Like, he be saying my name with 5 A's. He be like, hey, Asia. Like, he be so smiley, like in a good mood. I have never seen him and Tina argue ever. Like, he's always in a good mood. But y'all, that was my sign. God was trying to tell me right then and there, just go ahead and pay that $500 for that Spirit flight and don't even deal with them. And another thing, I did consider flying from Orlando to Atlanta because the flights were cheaper, but it didn't really make sense. Like, Orlando is an hour back. So my parents would have had to drive me about an hour to 2 hours from Orlando south just for me to be going back up north. Like, it didn't really make sense. And like I said, I think I paid like $50 on gas and to split the rental. We had the rental for the weekend. Nonetheless, they come pick me up. The vibes are there with R&B music. We're in the car and we're joking for like, maybe we vibing for like the first 20 minutes, and then I go to sleep, y'all. Like I said, I don't like car trips. I don't like road trips. Honestly, y'all, even when I'm on a plane, I don't like doing a whole bunch of talking and socializing. My plan, melatonin and sleep. I go right to sleep. So after like maybe 20-30 minutes of being in the car, they had already filled up. I went to sleep. Keep in mind, I'm all the way in the back row. I'm in the back row. I lay down. I'm sleeping. And, they were talking a little bit. Eventually, Bob and Marley, they end up going to sleep. And, like, we just playing loose tunes, R&B music, y'all. Well, I said loose tunes. We playing R&B music and we sleep. About 2 hours and 30 minutes into the trip, I wake up and we at pump 9. Like, we're at a gas station. And I look up and I'm like, okay, perfect. This is my chance for me to go to the bathroom because I am the pissy friend. And I don't want anybody to say that our trip was delayed because we had to stop for Asia. Because, y'all, once I start drinking something, I piss a lot when I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, my body just say, I know you want a car. I know it's moving right now. Like, you have to let it go. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into the gas station. When I woke up, Marley and Tina, they were not in the car, nor was Ike. I didn't see Ike at the time. The only person that was in the car was Bob. I climbed out the back seat. As I'm walking towards the gas station, I see Marley. Marley was just like, girl, they already on bullshit. I said, what you mean? Like, what happened? She was like, we didn't need to fill up for no gas. We only here because we need to take a smoke break. And she pointed. I look over, y'all, and Ike is smoking. He's smoking, and I'm like, okay, we not even halfway to the destination. You already need a smoke break. Last time I checked, smoke break was not on the itinerary. Like, why is nicotine delaying the trip? So she has an attitude, and I'm just like, okay. And I just like make a face at her. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's starting. And I go into the gas station. I use the bathroom. I get my snacks. And as I'm walking out, me and Tina, we walk back to the car. And she was like, I just went ahead and filled up while we were here. Like, basically trying to make it seem like we stopped because we needed gas. Like I said, y'all, we were only like 2 hours, 3 hours most into the trip. But again, it's still early. It's probably like maybe 9 o'clock around this time because we left out between 7 and 8. It's real early, so I don't care. I'm going back to sleep. I sip some of my drink, my tea, and I go back to sleep. Like I said, Bob was already left in the car. He was asleep. And Marley, she was going to sleep. We go back to sleep, and like I said, it was early, y'all, so I was already assuming that we was back on the road. Why I wake up 30-40 minutes later, and I still see the sun in pump 9. I get up out the back seat like this. I'm like this. I look around and Ike is still over there in the corner smoking Newports. You would have thought they was filming a Newport commercial because I'm like, why the hell? Like, why are we still here? This is what I'm thinking. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not a morning person, y'all. So I'm just looking like, and then Tina is sitting on the curb like a support animal. So I'm like, okay. Again, I go back to sleep. Don't think anything of it. I thought it was like weird that we taking a nicotine break. Like, y'all have heard of people say crack is addicting, but y'all, nicotine is very much addicting. The fact that we had to stop, I'm not even gonna tell y'all how many times we had to stop. Let me just continue. I go back to sleep. An hour into the trip, guess who gotta pee? Ike has to pee. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you just pee when we were just at the last gas station? Like, it was so weird, y'all. She was like, he had to pee. He had to pee so bad that we had to pull over on the side of the road. We pulled over on the side of the road. It was like a real highway that we were on. So he had to get off. She had to get off the highway, and he peed on the side of the road. But while he's peeing, he's taking a nicotine break, a smoke break, y'all. The trip is being sponsored by nicotine. If you see this, I don't care what brand. What's that brand? Marlowe or Newport. If you see this, sponsor this video. Sponsor me a vacation, because y'all, when I say the itinerary should have said gas break, nicotine break, wedding, nicotine break, ceremony, nicotine break, dinner, nicotine. This is the second stop within 4 hours of the road trip. We're doing a nicotine break, but this time Tina is just like, we stopped because I had to go to the bathroom. So I said, okay, I'm up and I'm scrolling on my phone and I'm like eating my snacks and stuff. I end up going back to sleep. Bob and Marley, they're still asleep at this time. I don't even think they like peeped like what was going on, because they were snoring. They were asleep all throughout this an additional 30-minute breaks. Keep in mind, this has set us back by an hour. I go back to sleep. Fast forward, I want to say we had 2 hours left. So about 4 hours into the trip, Tina is just like, I'm getting tired. I don't feel like driving no more. Bob already said if once she got tired, he would drive. So he was just like, I'll drive. And then she was like, you know what? I'm hungry. Y'all want to go ahead and get food? We don't have nothing. About 2 hours left. Again, the event that we were going to that night, it didn't start. It was still in the morning, y'all. It probably was like 11 o'clock at this time, 11, max 12. Like, we still had a bunch of time. So she was just like, yeah, let's pull over and let's get something to eat, because by this time, everybody was hungry, y'all. I do not recall the name of this restaurant. It was some southern restaurant that was in Georgia, and it kind of reminded me of IHOP. I wish I could remember the name. I'm probably going to have to go back through my Snapchat story to see if I can find it. Anyway, we get to the restaurant, and when we get to the restaurant, y'all, I'm not even gonna hold you. Y'all know, if you're in Atlanta or certain places in Georgia, there's a lot of homosexual people. This is not a stigma, or this is not like a stereotype. Like, people know Atlanta in certain areas in Georgia, they're just known to have more, what do you call them? The LGBTQ community is in this area because it's widely accepted there. It's accepted there more than other places, so they happen to go there, y'all. So I didn't even think anything of it, but when I got in there, I did notice that our server, we're gonna call the server Tim was homosexual. Another server was homosexual, and then the manager, I don't know if he was homosexual, but I'm gonna say it was giving bottom, y'all. He was gay, very feminine vibes. Like, that's what it gave. So I didn't care. Like I said, I did not care at all, and I had no prior knowledge of Ike being homophobic. I didn't know that. This never came up in conversation. So when we got in there, immediately Ike seen the scene, and then he saw what was going on, and he had an attitude. Keep in mind, at this time, I didn't notice the switch in attitude. I didn't know nothing. Like, I literally did not know. I came, sat down, the food looked good. It was a whole bunch of people in there. It was so busy that they had to like push 2 tables together for us. We're sitting in the middle of the floor. So Tim, the server, he comes to the table, and this is how I assume that he's gay, just off of mannerisms, y'all. So he comes to the table, very soft voice. He's like, hi, I'm Tim. I'm gonna be your server for today. Can I start you guys off with something? Don't got no hair, but I'm not over exaggerating, y'all. Like, rolling the neck, rolling the hands, high energy. Like, he moved, the vibe was there. So I'm just like, Tim, how your sweet tea is? Because I love sweet tea, but I've learned that everybody's sweet tea ain't sweet tea. Some people consider iced tea sweet tea, and unsweet tea and iced tea is the same thing in my eyes. So I'm like, how is the sweet tea here? So he's like, oh, you gonna love the sweet tea. Like, the sweet tea is sweeter than me. Like, the tea is good. So he's telling me how good the tea is. He says that if I don't like the sweet tea, he'll bring me sugar or whatever. So I'm like, all right, since you vouch for it, I'm gonna get the sweet tea. And then Bob and Marley and Tina, they order. He goes over to Ike and was just like, can I help you? Like, would you like something to drink? Ike is looking everywhere but at Tim. Ike is looking at the ceiling. He looking at the exit sign. He looking at the menu. He looking at the floor. And I'm just looking like, sir, the man is talking to you. Keep in mind, in hindsight, I don't see this interaction going on. I later learned about this interaction. Although I am sitting directly beside, Ike is sitting across from Tina, and Tina is sitting beside me. I'm too busy looking at the menu to even notice this going on. But basically, the server, Tim, is asking Ike what he wants, and he's just like, and I'll hear the server be like, all right, I'm just gonna bring out a lemon with water, and he leaves the table. He comes back to the table about maybe like five minutes later, and he was like, can I start you guys off with something to eat? Bob starts asking her like, hey, would you recommend this? He's telling everybody that he would recommend getting the brisket omelet at this, like he's just giving recommendations, y'all. And at the time, I'm a simple girl. French toast ain't never disappoint me. So I got French toast, I got eggs, and I think it was like a breakfast platter, y'all. And I got my sweet tea. The sweet tea was good. It was alright. I'm lying. The sweet tea was alright because I remember I did have to add more sugar in it. So the server, Tim, he's talking to everybody, giving everybody recommendations. When it comes to Ike, again, he's like, and for you, sir, what would you like? Nothing, y'all. The man is not saying anything to him. Instead, he starts talking to Tina and was like, babe, what you getting? And the server is just sitting there. And at the same time, another lady, a white lady, I don't recall her name, y'all. It was just a white server. She was serving another table. I don't know if she was a server or she was a runner, but she also was bringing out the drinks because, like I said, it was very busy this day. So she's bringing out the drinks, and then she's also talking to Marley, asking her, giving her recommendations on what to eat. So I end up deciding what I wanted. I'm drinking my tea, and then I also order a strawberry lemonade because I don't know what they did, y'all. They put probably nicotine. They put nicotine or crack in the strawberry lemonade because it was so good. So I end up, I was really swallowing Marley's drink down. I end up ordering my own, and this time when Tim left the table, he kind of had an attitude. And we all peeped it. Like, we all peeped it because he was like all so jolly and being helpful. But when he left the table, it was kind of like, I don't know, like you could just feel when the vibes are off. Like when he left, he had like this little twitch to him, this little switch with his hip. He was like, I don't know, y'all. I could just tell that the man was mad. Like when you first came to the table, you was all jolly, good energy. And now when you leave at the table, you walking like your booty hole got an itch to it. Like, why are you walking like that? So I peep it, but I don't say anything. I don't know what's going on. So Tim comes back to the table and he drops my food off first. Personally, I'm not gonna lie, I do not like when servers bring the food out at different times. My food could have been brought last because I had bread. I had French toast, eggs, and I think like what do you call it? What do you call that? The potatoes. What do you call that? Hash brown, y'all. I had a hash brown, so I felt like my stuff could have been brought out last. So he brings my food. Nonetheless, like it feels uncomfortable to eat when everybody do not have their food. But I took my food and I was just waiting. When the server comes back to the table, he goes over to Tina, asks Tina what she wants. She ends up getting the omelet and the brisket, and then he addresses Ike. And he was like, and for you, sir, what would you like? Again, Ike totally disregards this man, and he was just like, I don't know what I want. But he was talking towards like the server. Tim was right here, and Ike was like talking, looking this way. Like he looked like he was acting like the man did not exist at all. So that's when Tim was just like, is there a problem? And then Ike looked at him and was like, is it? Is there? It could be one. He was like, well, I'm asking you, is there a problem? Because you've been ignoring me this whole time.
Ike is like, ain't nobody worrying about you. Ain't nobody worrying about you. I haven't been ignoring you.
So they're loud. All that soft voice. Oh, baby, he got bass in that voice. Tim got bass in that voice. So the whole time I'm putting jelly on my damn toast and I'm looking like, who the hell is talking? Y'all, I look up from eating my toast and I'm like, who the hell is this? Because when I say he had a completely different voice, and you could tell that he had made this man mad, felt the passive aggressiveness from him like since he walked in the door. And he even said that he was like,
I already know what the problem is. You had an attitude since you came in the door. So I was like, man, what you want to do? Because we could go outside. We could go outside. We could go outside.
So I'm just like, what the hell, y'all? I'm in utter disbelief because I had never seen Ike get out of character. Like, I promise you, every time I see him, 32, all 32 teeth. All I see is cheese. Like, he's always in good spirits. He's always smiley. I had never seen him with an attitude. Bob and Marley, they got that look on their face. They like, I already told you. I told you. I told you. They're not saying this, but they looking like this. Like, this is nothing new. Like, this, later they end up telling me that this interaction was good. They really cut up worse than this. So they looking like this don't even faze them. And then Bob is just like sipping his drink like, there you go. Dead. Like, that's the vibe that he had on his face. And I'm just looking like, what in the hell? And keep in mind, y'all, the restaurant was very busy. So when all of this is going on, the people are looking like we're in the middle of the room. They sat us in the middle of the room. We needed to be sat in the corner because we don't know how to act. I knew how to act, but we should have been in the table in the corner, y'all. So Tim leaves and he's talking to the other server, like, and they're talking really loud. Like, our table is in the middle of the floor, but we can see the hand movements. Like, we can see that they're talking about the situation. And at the same time, y'all, I'm appalled. Like, I don't even know what's going on. I did catch on at the end that Ike was ignoring the server, but I didn't see anything else past like that last, like, can I help you, sir? And then he started talking to Tina. I caught that, but I didn't catch anything else. So the server comes back to the table and he drops off the food. And then the white lady, the runner, she comes back to the table and she's dropping off the food. And Ike starts to get up. He was just like, hey, I can't eat here. I'm not even eating here. I ain't eating here because he don't want them problems. He don't want them problems. And then Tim turns up again, y'all. Tim starts taking off his apron and he's just like, I ain't finna do this. I ain't finna do this. I don't get paid enough. I can't serve y'all. I can't serve y'all. So he walks away. At this point, the manager comes. And the manager is also gay. The manager comes and the manager is just like, what is going on? And he tells Tim that he did not have to service anymore, and he told the runner to continue to serve our table. So she's just like, okay guys, like, calm down everyone. Like, she's trying to de-escalate the situation. The manager is trying to figure out what's going on. He ends up taking Tim away from the table, but I can still hear. I'm real nosy, y'all. My ears, they hear better than normal people's ears. So Tim is basically saying, in short, that he already felt tension between him and Ike and the passive aggressiveness. He said that he asked him multiple times, can he take his order? He didn't say anything. He was ignoring him, and he was just like, I don't get paid enough for all of that. So just for my sanity, I am not going to serve them. The manager ended up coming over to the table 5 minutes later. By this time, Ike was already outside, and you already know what he was doing. He was on that nicotine, that stuff. He was taking that smoke break. So the manager is just apologizing to us, saying that he's sorry, and saying that, I don't recall the name of the girl, the white girl, saying that she was going to serve us or whatever. She was going to get the rest of our food. And the manager was just apologizing. And at this point, he left or whatever. Ike came back into the restaurant because he ended up leaving something. When he came back in the restaurant, by this time, I was asking Tina what was going on. Tina was just like, Ike had an attitude as soon as we hit the door. He didn't want that man to serve him or talk to him because of that man's sexual preference. I heard her say this and was like, no, I ain't had no attitude until he addressed me. He was looking at me first. And then Tina was just like, no, I already seen the way you was scrunching your face up and looking at that man like you already had a problem with that man. He was like, I don't even know that. I can't say it on here, y'all, but he said magnet, but with an F. He said, no, I ain't say nothing to that. I don't got nothing against that maggot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He say that, and the other server that's serving the table across from us hears it. And then I don't know why, if they just had a shortage of services day, but Tim no longer served our table, but the manager assigned him to serve the table that was like across from us. So all of this dialogue and what was going on, Tim heard all of this. And when he was serving the other tables, his vibe and the energy was off. He never put the apron back on. Since I was there, I didn't see him put the apron back on. Never put the apron back on. Had an attitude with people. You can hear the plates tremble when he ain't even sitting the plates down gentle. The plates ain't do nothing to you, but this man is hot, y'all. Like, you could literally boil noodles in his veins. This man was so hot. So I'm just like, this is crazy. So Editing Asia here. So I realized while I was telling this story, I came off very lighthearted, but in real time, this was a lot for me. It kind of reminded me of the disdain that racist people have with black people. We can be living our life just existing and they just hate our being. That's kind of how it felt. That man was just doing his job, serving, and he hated him just because his sexual orientation. And I had never experienced anything like that before. Like, definitely in the black community, being homophobic is a thing, but I had never experienced it to that level. When I say that man, to me personally, Tim was upbeat, he was nice, great personality, but just because of the atmosphere and it was a bunch of people that was sexual in there, that bothered him. Like, that made him so uncomfortable. And the only thing I can compare it to is me being a black person and I'm in a white space and I feel the discomfort from people not liking me or people judging me by the color of my skin. That's literally all that was. Ike goes back outside and y'all would think, all right, this is the end of it. And Tina looked like she wants to cry. Like, she's just like drained and she's just talking mellow. She's just like, I'm over it. We can't never go nowhere. That's why I don't go nowhere now. And she's kind of like just talking under her breath. You would think it was over, y'all. But no, why Ike called her, and I'm not even mad at him calling her, but the fact that she answered the phone. She answered the phone. Now they arguing on the phone. I can't hear what's going on, but I know that he's yelling and going off on her because I can hear, you know how you can hear the vibration on the phone, like you could just tell. Like, the fact that she's able to hold the phone like this and still hear you yelling in her ear. So he's yelling and going off. Tina ends up just like, you know what? I can't eat. I'm not eating. I'm not even eating. I'm not eating. I'm ready to go home. And that's when I look at her, like, I didn't say this, y'all, but I'm looking at her like, home? We not going home. We about 2 hours from Atlanta. We not going home. So she leaves out of the restaurant and goes sits in the car. At this point, y'all, I feel bad. Like, after all that just transpired, I cannot eat. Like, it feels uncomfortable to eat my toast and my French toast and my eggs. Like, it just doesn't feel comfortable. At this point, the food already old. Like, I just feel uncomfortable to eat, not knowing, like, she literally drove us all the way here. She said that she was hungry. So I was talking to Marley and they were just like, I told you, I'm not a prophet, but I told you. I already told you. Like, I would be surprised if we would have came in here and there wasn't any drama. Like, I already knew this was going to happen. And that's when I kind of caught up. They put me up on game and told me, like, this is what happened. And I'm like, I didn't peep any of that going on. Like, the whole time, y'all, I was sitting there and I was just sipping on my sweet tea and the server was in good spirits. The only thing I noticed is the last time he left the table before they end up having their back and forth, he did like walk kind of funny. Like, he was walking fast and I could tell like maybe he had an attitude or he had to go to the back. I don't know, y'all. I didn't feel comfortable to eat. So I went outside and I literally begged Tina. I'm like, Tina, let me order you something to eat. She was like, don't order me anything, Asia, because if you order it, it's going to be a waste of money. I'm not eating it. Like, I don't have an appetite, not in a good mood. And Ike was by the building like smoking somewhere. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna order you something, and if you eat it, you eat it. If you don't, you don't. And then I end up just getting her like something basic, y'all. A couple minutes later, she did end up coming in the restaurant, but like she said, she did not have an appetite anymore. She could not eat. Like, the vibes were just off. We end up eating our food, and the whole time we were in the restaurant, y'all, it just, like, when I say the mood was off, the mood was so off. She ends up explaining to us her side and what she saw and said that he was basically projecting on that man, didn't like the man just because of his sexual orientation. We end up closing out the check, and when they left, the man did have some words. She did. I don't remember what he said, but Tina and the guy, they had a conversation. I was not in that conversation, y'all, but they did have some words. We end up getting back in the car. When we get back in the car, I'm stuffed and I'm ready to go back to sleep. Like I told y'all, on road trips, I'm like a child, y'all. I eat, I nap, I use the bathroom, and I was in and out of sleep. So I end up going back to sleep. And I woke up, like, I want to say we were probably like an hour away from Atlanta at this point. And I woke up because what? We had to take another nicotine break. We had to take another smoke break. So when we were in the car, I was just like talking to myself, thinking like, damn, I really should have just took that flight, because this is crazy. You don't turn a 5 hour trip to a 8 hour trip with all of these stops. Granted, nobody was in a rush, but me already being the type of person that I don't like road trips. I never like road trips, y'all, because I feel like you're just limited on what you could do. Like, I would rather be in the sky. So that's the reason why I didn't really care. And then another thing, Ike does not fly. He does not understand the ideology of planes and aviation, so he does not fly. So anywhere, anytime we go somewhere and he's coming and it concerns the flight, he will not go. So at this point, when he finally does get back in the car, they start having radio war. She's turning the music up because she don't want to talk. This man keep turning the music down. Like, it was just a hot mess. When I did get to Atlanta, we did go to the wedding the following day, and then at the time I had a little boo thing in Atlanta. So I was with him, and I flew out from Atlanta back to Houston, and that pretty much concluded that. And after that trip, my Marley and Bob, they was just like, yeah, that's gonna be the last trip we do. Every time we do a trip with them, it's literally always something. Like, it has never been a successful trip. Like, everybody will be having a good time, and then one of the two of them mad, everybody got to be mad, because like, that's just the energy that they come with. But yeah, that's the end of this story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Mwah.